What's up, amazing people? It's me again. Welcome back to yet another video. First of all, guys, thank you so much for getting me up to 6k subscribers. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, guys. Today's video is such a good one. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe down below, smash the like button, and without much ado, let's go straight to the video.
Piles of bones, snakes, splattered across walls. What you're looking at aren't scenes from a horror movie, but works from a so-called performance artist. An artist who also rubs shoulders with some of the most celebrated and influential figures in our society. Everyone from famous actors and musicians to DC power brokers and international financiers. Her name is Marina Abramovic, and her work has been featured everywhere from the Metropolitan Museum of Art to a Microsoft commercial. But who is she, and why does she possess such enigmatic appeal to the world's elite?
I am obsessed with this woman. She is so incredible.
It's time we investigate who really is Marina Abramovic. Marina Abramovic. They call her an artist, but what she does is shocking. Cutting herself, burning herself, and other such extreme and grotesque acts. Abramovic was born in the Serbian capital of Belgrade in 1946. Hers was a harsh childhood. Her mother, a Communist Party official and military veteran, was cold and oppressive.
I was so incredibly unhappy as a child. We never sit together as a family, we never talked together, we never had any kind of Christmas, New Year together. It was always very unpleasant and very tense situation. So there's something wrong with me. She was always thinking that I'm doing something wrong here, and she absolutely hated it. This total control of my mother, total obsessional discipline which I had opposed of me, I had to have my own space. I have to kind of let it free.
Abramovic began her artistic career in the 70s while living in Serbia. She gained fame in the art world by performing extreme acts of endurance and pain, billing it as performance art.
But you might say that pain is Marina Abramovic's medium, and her message, deal with it. Back in 1973, she rhythmically jabbed the spaces between her fingers, at times drawing.
She almost died in 1974 when she laid inside a burning star, losing consciousness due to smoke inhalation. In another famous performance, she stood motionless for 6 hours while attendees were encouraged to freely interact with her in any way they please.
If I'm in the plane, sitting next to some jerk, I will say I am the nurse from New Zealand and I come to your country to discuss your health program or something. So nobody talk to me because it's so impossible to say to any human being what I'm exactly doing.
As for the allegations of occultism, Abramovic says she is not a Satanist, saying, quote, "Anybody who wants can read my memoirs and find out that my work is far from Satanism." But millions of people have examined her works and performances and come away deeply disturbed. When archaeologists and anthropologists want to understand a culture or a society, one of the first things they consider is its artwork. What does it say about us as a society that this is the artist we celebrate, put in museums, and call one of the greatest of her generation? One more interesting fact. Inspired by the beast in the book of Revelation, Aleister Crowley dubbed himself the Beast 666. Abramovic's Twitter handle is Abramovic M666. Just a coincidence? I'll let you be the judge.
Ito Tonchi, who in 1972 had a performance called the Seedbed. He hid under a slanted surface installed on the floor of a gallery. Watch the visitors go into the gallery, and he played with himself over the course of 8 hours. And he did this 3 times per week. Ponchi spread his gasping voice through the gallery using a speaker, which the visitors of the gallery, naturally, could hear. In Marina's version, she performed the work at the Guggenheim Museum. In this performance, Marina hid under a circular stage and continually, once again, played with herself. The voice she created covered the whole museum with a large speaker, and with the spread of her voice, even the spiral exhibition space of Guggenheim Museum created a sexual feeling. When she reached to the zenith of this feeling, she was done. And within several minutes, she started again for 7 hours in front of 300 people in that space. She just kept, quote, performing, end quote. After you probably suffered permanent brain damage and your day and appetite is officially ruined, I would like to ask you one simple question. Do I look or sound like a guy who wears a tinfoil hat on his head after I told you all these stories? Do I seem crazy? Because for me personally, I can't find any normal thing about these performances. Worshipping the devil or whatever may be a bit too far-fetched, but again, I don't know. Something is definitely off. Or, again, maybe you and me both don't know a thing about art.
Comment
But one
for
thing I
part
do
12
know is that if this is
if you want
art,
it.
I'm glad I don't have any talents for it.
What about those artists, right? What they did was they were together as a couple. One would start at the end of the Great Wall of China, and the other started at the other end. And they decided to break up. So they met in the middle, and then they kissed for the last time and said goodbye.
It's a long wall.
And then they turned around and walked off. That was it for the relationship. 30 years later, she decides to run this exhibition, sort of in-person life exhibition at one of the main museums. Her exhibition is anybody who wants to line up can stand in line and then sit down at a table for 2 in the middle of a big room and stare into this person's eyes. So he decides to line up. And he sits down after 30 years of not seeing her, sits down. You're not allowed to talk in this exhibition. And the two of them look into each other's eyes and both just start crying. And then after 5 minutes of the two of them sitting there looking at each other,
they embrace?
No. He gets up and walks away again, never knowing when the next time he will look into her eyes.
Or what she was thinking. Or maybe he did know what she was thinking and she knew what he was thinking.
This lady is weird AF. What?
Skinner.
Well, might we?
It's hard for me to clean this giant pot when you keep spilling meat tenderizer all over me. Oh, great! Now I gotta work in the dark!
This sandwich tastes so young and impudent. Seymour, what's with the good grab?
Well, perhaps I ought to let you folks in on a secret. You remember me telling Jimbo Jones that I'd make something of him one day?
Are you saying you killed Jimbo, processed his carcass, and served him for lunch?
I wonder where Jimbo is today. He should have beaten us up for our lunch money an hour ago. It's sloppy Jimbo. This is good night.
Well, that's your third helping, young man. It's making you fat and soft and tender. You just cut in line, didn't you? Reported attention, Ooter.
For how long?
Oh, about 7 minutes a pound should do it.
Okay, I got your German grub right here.
Mark, does it strike you as odd that Uter disappeared and suddenly they're serving us this mysterious food called Uterbraten?
Oh, relax, kids. I've got a gut feeling Ooter's around here somewhere. After all, isn't there a little Ooter in all of us? In fact, you might even say we just ate Ooter and he's in our stomachs right now. Wait, scratch that one.
Listen, kids, you're 8 and 10 years old now. I can't be fighting all your battles for you. But, Mom... No buts. You march right back to that school, look them straight in the eye, and say, "Don't eat me." Okay.
Easy there, young man. You'll only make yourself tired and stringy. Now, to check on the free-range children.
Hold on, kids! I'm coming to rescue the lot of you! Ow! Ugh, I'm bad at this.
I'm going to enjoy devouring you, Bart Simpson. Yes, I believe I'll start as you've so often suggested by eating your shorts.
Don't worry, guys. Something always comes along to save us. Nevertheless, I remain confident that something will come along and save the two Simpson children.
Yo, if that's what we call art, then I don't know.
This video contains content that some viewers may find disturbing.
What on earth was Lionel Messi thinking when he agreed to accept invitation to appear on this show?
¿Qué tema? ¿Qué más nos importa? ¿Cómo la tiene Ronaldinho? ¿Cómo la tiene? O sea, que está casado.
This interview was disturbing to watch, from start to finish. Though most people struggle to find a logical reason why this interview was allowed to continue, there are a few people who believe to this day, this was possibly Lionel Messi's inauguration to the dark side. This show was recognized as a risky and disturbing show, even before Messi agreed to accept.
What? Hey. Wow, that is so weird. But I guess that is just the humiliation rituals, you know. Whew.
Ahí.
¿Qué es eso?
Ahí. Atrás, Mark.
Es una nube, en serio.
Mark, acá.
¿Qué tiene que...
No sabemos qué sea, papi. Háganse por acá, por favor.
Estoy atrás. Ah, ¿qué es? Aléjate de ella, Iker.
Mami. No huele nada.
No lo toques. No lo...
¿Qué es eso?
Ni otro.
No, es espuma. Ahí está. Ya. Espérate.
Well, there goes the fake clouds. I don't
A
know.
man is going viral in Brazil after performing some sort of magic trick where loads of money actually appear out of nowhere. A lot of people on the internet are saying that this is actually not a magic trick, that this is more like dark magic or something like that. So I want you to pay very close attention and you tell me what you think is
Tu
really
não
going on
gastou
here.
dinheiro todo de ontem, tu ainda tem dinheiro pra beber?
Mister N, né? Fazer o quê? Aqui, gastei.
Gastou
mas,
tudo.
Mas tem?
Gastou
Gastei, né?
tudo.
Mas ainda tem papel aqui pra me fazer mais, ó. Vou tentar, né? Você vai fazer isso aqui, ó. E aqui não tem negócio de dedo não, viu, bichinho? Vamos tentar aqui fazer umas notinhas aqui. Tem que fazer honey faz, honey food. Estourando de água linda. Opa, tá começando. Fazer muito dinheiro. Ninguém no mundo faz isso. E aqui não tem negócio de corte, não. Aqui tem... Aqui é magia. Tá fazendo, tá indo.
Agora a metade é meu, que tu gastou ontem.
Olha, vamos lá fazer isso aí, ó. Tem 3 mil conto aqui. Sai, menino, sai.
A metade é meu.
What is going on here, guys?
Valeu.
I don't know. Is that real or is that magic, guys? Let me know what you think on the comment section.
The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. So now it's time for you to open your eyes. And the only way you can do that is if you open your mind. Can you imagine somebody building something as glorious as this with no electricity or power tools? And can you imagine somebody carrying hundreds of tons of cement and concrete up the hill to the middle of nowhere and building something as glorious as this with just a hammer and a chisel? And let's look at these temples. If these was built with a hammer and chisel, it means if you make one mistake, brother, it's a wrap. It's game over. You're trying to tell me that slaves, because that's what you're going with, slaves chiseled into rock and made these glorious buildings. I don't know about you, but malnourished slaves would be under so much pressure. A mistake is destined to happen. Just look how smooth they was able to make marble with no power tools. You're telling me these men had sandpaper and they're getting jobs done like this? We can't even do this today, brother. I've said this once and I'm gonna say it again. The type of technology that we had back in the day, we just cannot reproduce now.
So where was this technology they had they used to build these buildings? If we look back through history, we were told that they're built with primitive tools. Wooden cranes, hammers and chisels, and horses and wagons. But in the 1800s, you have trains and all that kind of stuff. So people say to me, well, they had railroads, they had infrastructure a lot of times in the 1850s. But people don't realize a lot of these buildings, especially in Europe, you're talking the 1200s, 1300s. This is, many hundreds of years ago. And yet, the exact same buildings, even all the way back to Rome. Stuff has been standing for a couple thousand years. So, that story doesn't really hold up. Steam cranes and trains and everything else, that all sounds good, but the same buildings were built many hundred years before the inventions of all that. And yet, that didn't stop them. They still built even bigger than we build in the modern day. Not only bigger, but extremely ornate. And everybody was building in the neoclassical style. From Greece and Rome all the way through. That was the style. You gotta think, how did they do it? people mention, well, they had plenty of slaves. I mean, like I always say, how skilled were these slaves? How many master artisans were on these teams? Of course, there's the possibility that we've been lied to, and our history is false.
More content.
Maybe they didn't cut that. It was formed with frequencies as they've shown in the video, because lasers are made from directed frequencies, right? So I don't know, share your thoughts on the comment section.
People who expose the truth.
One of the most amazing things that I have ever seen at the bottom of the ocean. It was while filming for Blue Planets in the Gulf of Mexico. I noticed there's something out in the distance. Couldn't tell exactly what, but it looked like a dark band. And as we approached it, the dark band became a donut. I saw this donut. It was black in the center. What the heck is that? And so as we get closer and closer to it, I noticed that the black band had what appeared to be kind of water lapping against the shoreline. This band was a ring of mussels. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. And we went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane.
Buzz Aldrin was scared of what he saw in Antarctica.
What did Buzz Aldrin see in Antarctica? Let's rewind. So in 2016, a satellite got an image of what experts believed to be a huge pyramid in Antarctica. Now, if this was in fact a pyramid, it would be the largest pyramid ever found on Earth. Bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, which was about 230 meters wide. This pyramid in Antarctica would be 2,000 meters wide. Now, apparently in 2016, Buzz Aldrin and a crew got together and went to Antarctica to explore and check out this colossal pyramid. They wanted to see it for themselves. But this is where it gets crazy. While on the expedition, Buzz Aldrin suffered a heart attack. He was hospitalized for days. But when he fully recovered and left the hospital, he tweeted something strange, but then quickly deleted it. It said, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself." Now what the hell he talking about? Cause I don't want to find out. Someone close to Buzz said they had a talk with him and he said this.
Buzz did say one thing. He just said, we thought out things we shouldn't. And I went, what do you mean by that?
Come on, man. What did they find? Was it aliens, a Nephilim giant, other humans? If it is a pyramid, who built it and what was living in it?